Groot Beer is a murderer and he's lying to you. So if you don't know, one of Groot Beer's most recent videos was about Frosty the Snowman, or just Frosty, which is a parody of the very popular Disney film known as Frosty the Snowman. And in this, Frosty, who is the little character, the snowman, is in mountains. He's kind of sad because it gets lonely and cold in mountains.
I think being a snowman's so easy, but man, it gets really cold and lonely just sitting there in the mountains, man.
Keep that in mind for later. And so, Groot Beer and his friends decides to surprise him by taking him to beach, where it's a lot warmer. In this, Frosty actually goes to beach. But there's one small problem with this. Once he goes there, he accidentally trips and falls into the water and gets too warm and melts.
Man, it's so hot here. I'm gonna melt. I'm gonna jump in the water.
Yippee! And even though Groot Beer didn't know it, he still committed a crime. He endangered someone to the point at which they would die. And you might be saying, oh, well, they were just trying to do the right thing. But when they said that Frosty was cold, that is actually a complete lie. Let me give you an example. Most creatures tend to like a temperature that's cooler than their overall body temperature. To give you one example, think about yourself. The average body temperature for a human that's not sick or fighting an illness is around 97 to 99 degrees. But tell me this. If someone told you that you were gonna go outside and it was 97 degrees, would you be all too happy? I know I wouldn't be. The average temperature that the human tends to like is around 70 to 80 degrees, which is obviously around like 20 to even 30 degrees lower than the average human temp. So why would they say that Frosty was cold? Well, the truth is, he actually wasn't cold. Frosty was actually warm. We know that Frosty's temperature is around the same temp that overall in mountains is. This means Groot Beer lied about Frosty being cold, and then took him to a place that was way warmer than he could survive. And then Frosty melted to death, which is one of the worst ways to go. And since it was voluntary manslaughter, this is how many years he would get in prison. So this is why I am making this poster. If you see Groot Beer, make sure to report him to the police. He needs to be arrested. He's a horrible person. He killed Frosty. Killed someone. If you see Groot Beer in any map, you need to report him immediately to the gorilla authorities, and he needs to be arrested and put to justice. But that is just a fact. A gorilla fact. Groot Beer, I hope to be hearing from you soon in prison. Bye-bye!